Okay, tell us a little bit about how you go about a search here. You were explaining to me a little earlier about kind of a grid and how the state police are also giving you a hand.
Yeah, today we have both the National Park Service dive team as well as the New York State Police dive team is working with us, assisting in the recovery efforts. How we go about doing this after the initial emergency response and it moves from rescue operations into recovery operations is we begin the process of a very systematic search. So we lay out a search pattern on the bottom of the river using ropes, which the divers will follow, and that ensures that we systematically cover as much of the river bottom as we can as we go down, working from above the point last seen, through the point last seen, and then continue downstream through our highest probability areas for locating and recovering the body of the victim.
And you mentioned also the state police have a device that's helping you as well?
Yes, the state police are also utilizing the side scan sonar, which allows us to take a look at the bottom profile of the river and pick up any anomalies on the bottom. Again, that may indicate areas that either we want to dive on, or they may actually be able to pick up on the body, and then we'll be able to base our recovery on that.
And the current, this time of year, what are you dealing with that?
Yeah. The river at this particular time of the year is fairly typical conditions. It is higher than what's considered normal. We measure it by river height. River height normally is 3 to 4 feet. It's about 4.5 feet currently, and at the time of the accident on Sunday, the river was up just under 5 feet. So the river was a little bit higher on Sunday, so the current was moving a little bit quicker. Visibility was not as good as it is today, and visibility still is not as good as it is again during normal flow, normal summer flow heights, and when we have not had rain, which is, again, that's what's impacted on our visibility on Sunday and yesterday and today, is the rains that we had earlier last week. I think that, it really comes down to just a few common denominators: is overestimating one's ability and underestimating what the river does, and being lulled into complacency by that casual observation of what's going on. But yet there are a lot of dynamics going on in a moving body of water, whether it's a river or the ocean, that's much different than what you find in even a lake or a pond, or let alone a swimming pool. It's a very different dynamic, and the other factors that come into play that people don't necessarily understand or think about is the topography of the bottom, and the depth of the river can change very quickly. And these slow-moving eddies are a good example of that. You can move through a section of the river that's faster moving water that would appear perhaps to be more dangerous, but yet it's very shallow. One can stand, it's knee deep, it's waist deep. One can stand in those areas, but then you move into these slow-moving areas and it can be deceptively deep. Some areas in the eddy here are 20 plus feet deep, so you go from a section of the river where you can touch bottom easily, and then all of a sudden you're, with little or no warning, in an area that looks deceptively calm and tranquil. You go into the water and you can't touch bottom anymore. And the biggest thing is we have not had a fatality on the river when someone has been wearing a properly fitted life jacket. And if people would just wear their life jackets, whether they're swimming, fishing, boating, floating, whatever recreation they're doing on the river, if they would just wear their life jackets, I hate to sound like a cliche, but that life jacket is a lifesaver. And if they just wear those life jackets, swimming, boating, fishing, floating.